It's now November and I'm looking back to late June and a charity cycle ride I did with a group of friends from Belgium through Holland, England and then Scotland, ending up on the Isle of Arran for a charity called To Walk Again. I started off in St Pancras in London, got the Eurostar over to Belgium, very exciting, took my bike for the first time. And here's me walking to the trains. That is a Eurostar train. Huzzah! Picked up the bike in Brussels. That was a really nice process actually. I met Andrew and Bart in Brussels. And we went to Jan's shop and all of a sudden the 500 miles we had to cycle ahead of us dawned on me. The prospect of maybe not training as much as I should have done. Before we got on our bikes, my friend Jan had a little drive in his lovely car. We weren't going to be travelling by car, we were going to be travelling by bike. So the next day, Jan, his family put on this amazing send-off for us from his shop. And we all assembled.
Good morning.
Hi,
Good to see you.
Everything okay? Had a good night?
Good friend Yo.
Lovely. Had a nice omelette.
Very Jan's dad. And we basically put our stuff in cars and got on our bikes and got ready to cycle. The looks of people who are about to cycle from mainland Europe over to Scotland. Here's a route. On the first day, one of the exciting things we did, we went to a little ferry at the end of the ride. Very cheap, about €1 each to get ourselves and our bikes on this ferry across a bit of the water on which we need to get to the other side of the water. Here we all are, one day in, thighs of steel. And at the end of the day, we'd cycled 101 miles, which is the most I'd ever cycled. Couldn't have done it without these guys. Day 2, through Holland, through lots of flats. And Jan wanted to test out his bike on the steps of the hotel. Yes, the bike can get down the steps. And we found ourselves cycling through quintessential Dutch back roads. There's cows, it's very flat, it's farming, and it was sunny, it was gorgeous, and then through some sand dunes which they'd very considerately put a cycle path through. Up to the biggest ferry I've ever been on, where we'd go from Holland over to Newcastle. And then that night on the North Sea, a glorious summer sunset. There we all are on deck. The support crew, the cyclists.
Oh, that's right, he's been in the gym about it.
We said we weren't going to drink or do any bravado stuff, and then we ended up drinking and showing each other how much we could do press-ups.
I'm a lot heavier than you.
Great fun.
That's not my fault.
Here we all are. I think it was the summer solstice and quite a group of amazing friends to cycle with. Day 3 we cycled out from
Gary's
Newcastle.
waiting by the main entrance.
We met up with our friend Gary, another aeronautic, and we ended up crossing river in a different method. And suddenly we were in northern England in midsummer. There's Gary. We had a lovely little pit stop where we introduced our Belgian and Dutch friends to Yorkshire puddings. And finally we made it into Scotland in the middle of a load of mist. I can't
Oh, lovely
turn this way
day,
around.
hey? Sunshine,
Yeah.
no midges, no sunburn.
Everything
Yeah.
below is also waterproof, so
What do you have to say, Mr. Smith? Dr. Smith?
I hate you doing videos.
Day 4 was awesome. We went from Northumberland through Edinburgh. Here we are on Musselburgh Beach. Then we went up to across the Firth of Forth over to Stirling. But this was a great start to the day. Never been through Edinburgh this way. Pee stop. Peeing pit stop. Ooh. Here's us going over the bridge. You'll notice so far, other than maybe when we got to the Scottish border, there's a distinct lack of rain. We were quite lucky with little rain on our cycle ride. Poppies on the way to Stirling. This power station on the left subsequently got demolished, blown up in September, so we were lucky to see it in action. Well, it probably wasn't in action. We popped into the Arran Distillery HQ in Stirling, and Andy and Jackie gave us a little toast, and then we met up with my friend Andrew's mum and brother, had fish and chips, and on to the next day, which was a good day for climbs. And we went up the Duke's Pass, and I did not fail. Here we are going down the Duke's Pass. This amount of days in, my legs seem to adjust to hill climbing, which is odd for someone living in the Fens. Just looking over to Arran. And then I took a little detour, a scenic detour on this lovely cycle path, and thoroughly enjoyed myself. I cut out a few hills on that day. And we all rendezvoused at our hotel, and I was completely sunburned. This is Scotland, but sunny as. And the next day we cycled up Rest and Be Thankful, which was a slog, complete slog, but the weather was brilliant. Can't complain about the weather. Heave ho, heave ho. And we stopped in at Inverary Castle, met up with you and Louisa, and we opened a bottle of our commemorative whiskey that was raising money for the charity, and it was absolutely boiling out here. You can see the suntan on everyone. Went out for a lovely meal with you and Louisa in the evening, at which point I'd probably got a heat stroke, which was the penultimate day. So I got a ride in Jan's dad's car, in Peter's car, on the final day because I was feeling horrendously sick. There's Arran. So the last half of the day, we got onto Arran, and the festival started. And we headed into one of the bonded warehouses for a celebratory dram with everyone to commemorate the start of the festival. Glorious weather again. And James, the master distiller, congratulated Jan and all of us for cycling over. There's my partner John. He dressed in a fine kimono for the White Stag dinner. There's the list of all of us. We got a White Stag commemorative bottle, and before we knew it, it was the Saturday, and we were waiting outside, and it wasn't as sunny, but we had a great time in the queue. That queue was really memorable, and suddenly it was pandemonium in the shop to buy the festival release bottle. There's Bart.
Italian wine cask finishes,
And I took
which was a bit hard because
part in a masterclass by Mariella, who's new to the company but feels like she's been there for 15 plus years.
But I managed to find 5 lovely drams. So the whole idea was actually to give you 5 Italian finishes finish, like whiskey, with the wines, like, you know, and then like a whiskey and a wine together. And then I realized that some of these guys go for like £200 a bottle. With all respect, you're all beautiful and you're all worth it and you deserve to try those wines, but like, it was like a little bit extreme. So I was like, all right, let's just try and change that. So what I did instead is I paired that with some biscuits. So 5 different whiskeys, wines. I'm gonna mix up whiskey and wine a lot today, by the way, just to let you know. From 5 different regions. So I will tell you a little bit about me, about Italy, about the regions, the wines, and then for every region there's also biscuits. So it's like a little trip to Italy. I don't know if you're feeling the Italianness around right now with the music and the flags and the sunshine non-existent.
And we definitely felt the Italian vibe. Marilu was fantastic and got to try loads of interesting, rare Italian wine finishes from Italy.
The anniversary of the first distillation on Arran. So the first distillation ever took place at 2:29 p.m. the 29th of June 1995. So we always have the festival the last weekend in June. It doesn't necessarily mean it always falls on the 29th of June. This year it does. And we're just coming up to 1429, so here's the perfect time to toast a wee dram of Arran and mark that occasion. So we'll put that in glass number 1.
And this is Ewan's ultimate masterclass.
This one's been finished in a Coca-Cola barrel.
It was dark, but it was much more special than a Coca-Cola glass.
Favourite of mine.
No other caramel. Cheers.
There we go. 24 years to the day since the first middle cut of spirit ran through the stills. We're in the still house. Slange, everybody.
Cheers.
Christmas with your
We're going to get some more in.
Cheers.
Go on.
Cheers.
That's it.
And what this was a very, very underlined, emboldened, special Arran dram.
Would you like to tell us anything about that one?
I can indeed. This gentleman is a sample from cask number 1. 1995, the first cask ever filled.
Recognised it. Special. Had it once to the name.
And yeah.
There it is, and it's dark, and what a privilege to try that. There's my friend Bart with the remnants of a dram. David, Scott, Ewan. Yeah, brilliant culmination of a festival day, and to be able to try that with those gentlemen was an utter privilege. And, James and the Staves played in the marquee outside. Went down and checked them out.
Okay, Mavis, this one's for you.
I've got this video fully uploaded on another video.
Isn't the right thing to do? If I could, maybe I'd give you my word. If you lie, you won't take it from me. You found your own way.
After this we went over to the Stag's Pavilion. There's Rennie and David, and we had a lovely meal with friends in Vallemarino's. There they are, fantastic restaurant almost opposite the distillery. And then drove home and there were just weird clouds on the hillside. The next day, bus journey down to Lagg. There we all are, party bus. Lagg is the new distillery on Arran, the second by Arran Distillers. We were greeted at Lagg Distillery by Faye and Graham, and we then had a little tour in the still house, courtesy of Graham, and it's just great to see this new distillery up and running and the excitement and dynamism it brings to the south of the island. Onto the survivors meal, which was fantastic. Deconstructed baked beans on toast, my favourite, and a Bloody Mary cocktail, and these gorgeous copper Lagg distillery mugs. Perfect hangover cure with accompaniment by harp. And then all too soon the weekend was over, but we'll look forward to the 25th anniversary Malt Music Festival next year, 2020.